Rocking harder than this next guest who went on the Joy Reid show and lived to tell the tale. Superstar congressman from the great state of Florida, Byron Donalds, back on the show. Yo, BD.
Jimmy, what's up, my man?
I'm a big sports fan. I can only communicate with other men through like sports analogies, because I'm a stunted intellect. I really loved watching you be the away team on Joy's show. I just want to say that because I think you showed up to genuinely have a good faith discussion. And you were trying to reach voters who might not traditionally agree with you. My question to you is, do you feel like you were brought on to have a good faith discussion?
No, but that's okay. I went in to have a conversation.
You
about
did?
things,
Uh-huh.
but that's not. It doesn't appear to me that's what she wanted to do. It was pretty clear in the middle of the first question when, she basically tried to say that I was a token. So, from that point forward, I kind of knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
But look, for me, I'm not afraid of dealing with her or anybody else. It's just about going out and explaining yourself. And the most important thing I think from that one is, man, a lot of people just really liked it. And the people who hated it were like her, like diehard viewers.
Yes.
I could tell from the comments. But, other people liked it. I think it's good. I think we should do more of it.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's the thing I wanted to commend is at the end of that. Because, it's so funny because she was not only interrupting you, like she got so carried away she was interrupting herself. I'm like, yo, you cut yourself off 3 times. What's going on here? It was crazy. I get it.
Man.
You cut off the guest when you're cutting off yourself. It's a little much. But the point is, at the end, I did see, as someone who has met you and had you on the show multiple times, I did see an effort at the end to remind you that you wanted to do it again. And the reason I bring that up, BD, and the reason I commend you for not getting hostile with her and for not just using the, ensuing 48 hours to trash this woman is because I do believe you're in a position where we want to engage her supporters, like on the ideas, not on like the character assassination thing. People have plenty of hot takes on Joy Reid, but I think the truth is we would benefit more from getting in the ring and fighting that idea battle. Is that your genuine takeaway?
Yeah, I do. And like I said, we just need more of it. There's so many people out there who don't watch Fox. They don't listen to you, Jimmy, although they should.
Hey, girl.
And they watch MSNBC or they don't watch anything at all. They watch clips on TikTok or YouTube. And so, obviously people have clipped that thing and it's all over the place and that's all well and good. But the real point is that you got to engage in the battlefield of ideas. If you're not going to do that, then you're not ready to win. And I'm about winning.
In a perfect world, Byron Donalds is on the line. He's all about winning. He's a Florida State fan. Well, listen, when you went to Florida State, they were all about winning, and they're not bad now. I'm not trying to give you a hard
time. We're back to winning. We're back to winning. Okay.
Repping hard from the 19th Congressional District of Florida. Listen, it could be worse. You'd rather not make the playoff than be TCU right now, right?
Nah, I still would have rather made the playoff, but that was bad.
Dude, 65-7, dude. 65.
Well, look, I didn't think they could beat Georgia. And honestly, how they beat Michigan, Michigan turned the football over. You turn the football over, you're going to lose. That's what happened to Michigan.
That's the bottom line. That's why our Giants are in the playoffs this weekend here in New York, in your old hood. The Giants, they're not terribly flashy, but they don't turn the ball over a lot. In the NFL, it gives you a big deal. But you know what? I'm going to pivot really quickly because you brought up turning the ball over. The president was just outed for what could sound like a fumble for having classified documents in his garage next to his vet. In all the speeches you've been given about handling classified information, did anyone ever suggest putting it on the floor next to a pint of Valvoline?
No. I've never heard anything so ridiculous. But then again, it's Joe Biden, so why are we surprised? Look, but here's the fundamental issue with this. Joe Biden had these documents in his possession after he left the White House from being vice president. Now, some people might be like, well, what's the big deal? Vice presidents have no ability to declassify anything. Jimmy, a vice president has the same ability to declassify information as you do, or I do, which means none. So why does the vice president have these things in his possession? That's number one. And then number two, more importantly, why did it take 6 years for us to figure this out?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then the third part is, well, where's the raid? Has somebody impounded the Corvette? Where's the raid? What's going on? I don't know, but they were quick to raid Mar-a-Lago when they knew the documents were there, and President Trump's lawyers were in negotiations with the National Archives. And by the way, who's ever heard so much from the National Archives? Like, what is going? How did they become important all of a sudden?
We're at the episode. There was a Seinfeld episode where there was something called a library cop. I didn't watch a lot of the show, but that's where we're at now. There is a library cop, apparently. They're getting a lot of overtime these days, BD, and it's bananas, man. It is. And I think the point we're trying to make is that, like, if there's a double standard, there's no standard. And that seems to be the case here. Because if you're rating Mar-a-Lago with lawyers engaged on the issue, but we're just finding Biden stuff 6 years later, you have to know there were other documents in other locations. We may or may not find out about them. But the thing is, the comparison I keep coming back to is everybody, it's different with Trump than Biden. I really think the difference is Trump's home is under Secret Service protection. Okay, Biden's documents, the first dump is at the University of Pennsylvania. They got $30 million from China, who, oh, by the way, might have an interest in some classified documents.
Jimmy, you're making too much sense, man. You got to stop. The press says that everything is okay because his lawyers contacted the National Archives. End of story. No, you're totally right, and there's so much more here. The one thing that I didn't know, I just found out, I didn't realize that the Penn Biden Center got money from a Chinese company or from the Chinese government themselves. That still hasn't been made available to us, and that Joe Biden was taking a salary from said Penn Biden Center. I didn't know that. We're finding all that out real time. So there's more stuff to come. The biggest thing overall is that you got to have a president of the United States, in my view, who is not compromised by the business dealings of his son and his brother. It's really that simple. And this speaks to more of it. Now, to the classified documents piece, look, it is ridiculously derelict for him to even have classified documents. This is the same as Hillary Clinton and her server. You're not allowed to do it. It is actually a violation of the Espionage Act. It is. Sorry, but that's what it is.
I know. It's everybody's trying to draw this distinction between one and the other. But if you broke the law, you broke the law. And again, I think this was a battle they started. It's not a battle anybody asked for, but this sounds like so reckless that I don't think we're engaging in a tit for tat so much as we're just engaging in this is really reckless and we need to get to the bottom of it, especially when you know that, again, we have people on record, like Hunter Biden's business partners put their name on the accusation that Hunter was selling interest in our government and the father was getting a kickback. The guy's now the sitting president. Me and you can't explicitly state that the guy is compromised, but if he is compromised, we're all compromised. So if ever there was a time to run the Carfax on a purchase, I think today's the day to run the VIN. That's all I'm trying to say. Let me ask you this.
I think you're right.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. Byron Donalds from the 19th Congressional District of Florida. His wife is now a Twitter celebrity. Okay, Erica Donald's getting a lot of love on the Twitter yesterday. Kind of a big deal. Is she like an influencer now? Is she on TikTok lip syncing? Where has this taken her from yesterday to today?
I'm not sure she's going to do the lip syncing yet, but I'm here for all of that. I think the influencing game is a real game. That thing matters in America today.
No, it really does. But I bring it up because the core of her post was about how you never experience more racism as a black man in modern day America than you do when you declare that you are a black man who happens to be a conservative. That's when the real fireworks come out. Are they just speak to this, the easiest question. Are they threatened by the idea of a black conservative? Is that the jump off?
Yeah, I'm a narrative buster. Listen, if you have black people who actually hold conservative leanings, and by the way, a lot of black people hold conservative leanings, a lot of us. Yep. But if we actually espouse that and we actually follow that with how we vote, that is a clear and present danger to the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party can't survive without black voters. We all know that. Yep. So, yeah, that's why, they come out, whether it's, myself or Burgess Owens or Clarence Thomas, or Alan West or Condoleezza Rice, or you can go all the way back. That's why they always throw out, this is a token. They're being used. They don't know, they're doing a dance and all that other stuff. I just find it interesting that all these people who make these accusations never say it to my face. But that's, but like I told the press corps the other day, man, like I'm 6'2", 275. I don't really worry about it.
Yo, we played that clip on the show, Clubber Lang. We played that. We played that clip. He said it last week.
That was all for you, Jimmy. Let me tell you. I was like, Jimmy's gonna like this one.
Yo, I lost my mind. That was like the closest thing to a Mr. T I've had in like this decade. Like the only thing you should have put on the gold chains and did the mohawk. Did you give it any thought?
Is that the 2023 version of I Pity the Fool?
Fire Donald. Go on, let me give you one.
Shut up, fool!
There's some Mr. T for you. I'm dying.
Oh, man.
But we loved it. And then really quick, I know you're happy they wrapped up the speaker process and you're happy McCarthy was the guy. But were you flattered to be getting as much love as you were as a possible alternative? Even if you didn't want the gig.
Heck yeah.
Damn right you were.
Man, Jimmy, that was cool, man. Are you kidding me? Like, honestly, though, it was a crazy time in the chamber. It was surreal. Yep. But man, it was cool. Not gonna lie, that part was cool. You know, I was like, man, I was saying to myself as I was being nominated, I'm standing in the back, and I'm just like, you know, I'm like, man, look, Ma, I made it. That's all I could think in my head, you know.
I had this.
But yeah, no, look, I think it was the thing where, you know, we were kind of deadlocked, and you know, I was just happy that we were able to kind of work through it and get the job done. And look, we're active, man. We're going to be active. There's going to be so much that House Republicans are going to be doing this Congress. And we want the American people to know, like, we're not here to play silly political games. Like, we're being serious about this. Even with whether it's the classified docs or all this other stuff, it's not just about, oh, we just want to get Joe Biden. Yeah. It's that there are some serious concerns about other people outside of our country having influences on our president and the way our agenda is going. Yeah, that matters. Congress should actually get into that.
100%. And I would just tell you this as someone who talks to a lot of voters, man. Nobody cares if it took a week or it took a month to confirm a speaker. They care what you do with the majority, as you know. You know, if you put up a 13-3 season, nobody's going to care about that preseason game. You know what I'm saying? That was a preseason game. Now you're in the regular season. These games count. You know, you guys get out there and get some dubs, everything's going to be fine. So you're a big deal. Tell Erica not, you know, to lose it. I don't want her to become like a crazy influencer. I don't mind that she's influencing. I've seen it happen fast for people online. Okay, I don't want to be watching Keeping Up with the Donaldses. Like, I do, but I just don't want it to happen so fast. Like, let it develop. Can we do that?
Absolutely. Right, got it. We're not doing reality TV, though, man. That's not happening.
You know who wants to do reality TV? Your boy Wesley Hunt. He would show up for a reality show in a second.
Hey, I'm gonna tell him that too.
You better tell him.
You know what I told him?
What?
You know what I told him?
What?
And you're gonna like this. I said, man, if they do a movie about this last week, I told the man, you know who's gonna play me, right? He said, who? I said, Michael B. Jordan's gonna play me. He goes, no, I'm gonna be played by Michael B. Jordan. I was like, come on, man, come on, Wesley.
Wesley Hunt's gonna be.
Come on, man.
Yo, he's gonna be played by Louis Gossett Jr. and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Wesley Gossett Jr. And I'm fine. I'm here for it. I think it's great. I met Michael B. Jordan at a Hawks game. It's a long story, but I was sitting courtside. I'm kind of chummy with the owners. It's a weird story. And a pretty cool dude. I got to tell you, though, you win an Oscar for Creed, you definitely attract a level of women that I didn't really know existed as a talk radio host. You know what I'm saying? You meet a lot of good ones out there, but when you're a dude with an Oscar, I mean, there were things going on courtside that I don't even care to discuss in a family program such as this, so I'll let you go. But tell Wesley Hunt, he's Louis Gossett's calling, and he wants the role.
Definitely. Hey, real quick, shout out to Michael B. Jordan. He's a phenomenal actor.
Yes, he
does great work.
Oh, he is. World class, man. And I think he'd be honored to have the role now that he knows you've been nominated for House Speaker. I'll broker something. Back channel. We'll get in touch.
There we go.
You're the best, BD.
All right. See you, Jimmy.
See you, man. The great Byron Donalds from the 19th Congressional District of Florida. He's telling you the truth, man. Democrats horrified by the idea of a black conservative.
I agree with that.
And the reason being is because he's a narrative buster. No, when you listen to the clips, I'll play you more of them during the day today. When you listen to the clips of how many times Joy Reid interrupted him, she interrupted him so many times, she was interrupting herself. At various points during the discussion, she was cutting off herself.
That was embarrassing.
It really was. But why was she doing that? She didn't want him to express his policy positions. She didn't want to show the world that a young, wildly intelligent. I mean, the only knock on his intelligence is that he does this show. You get past that, he's a brilliant guy. Okay? And she doesn't want her public, to see that a young, brilliant black man okay, who is raising a wonderful family and who is actually putting the country's interest first, has policies that prioritize the well-being of all Americans. Because Democrats, they speak to us in racial groups. They keep us divided. They don't see us as people. They see us as hyphenated people. Asian Americans, black Americans, white Americans. We're just people, okay? And she doesn't want a black conservative speaking to the fact that they're trying to create a rising tide that lifts all boats. And that's very appealing to people of every ethnicity. But they're not looking to do that conversation. They're looking to do a conversation of, well, as a black conservative, he must be mentally ill. There must be something wrong with him. Let me cut him off and frame the debate in a way that discredits any point he makes that might be appealing to my viewers. Again, this is everything you need to know, okay? Really quick, I'll give you the Howie Schneidler story. Growing up, my man Howie Schneidler, great guy, fun guy, Little League dad, his son Dennis, good buddy of mine growing up. Howie was like a guy who worked out. He was like one of the dads that was in shape. When all of our dads were eating a stick of pepperoni and drinking a 12-pack of Meisterbrow at the Little League Stadium, Howie was there with like a wrist cruncher. He was a little bit of a playboy. He wore a lot of gold. He was a nice guy. Okay, but one day some parent on the other team after the game was like, hey, I ought to kick your ass. And Howie goes, I don't see anybody holding you back. And the dad was like, yeah, real tough guy, yeah, and it just went home. The point was, one of them was willing to fight. The other one wasn't, okay? Byron Donalds was on there saying, let's have this idea debate. Let's do this again, even though you cut me off 100 times. Joy Reid wasn't. Why? Because she knows there's no way that the actual idea battle ends in her favor.
He knows what he's talking about.
You're listening to the hottest show in the country.
Our country is in serious trouble.
This is Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla.